as a financial advisor for over 20 years. By far, the most common question I get asked is, hey Azul, do I have enough money to retire? And in today's video, I want to look at a scenario where a married couple has $350,000 saved for retirement. And why $350,000? Because if you look at the data in the United States, the median net worth of people 55 to 64 years old is just about $365,000. So I thought $350,000 would be a good number to go with and to go through this. I'm using a free online tool. You can follow along in these steps, stay to the end, and I'll share with you what the tool is. But I'm going to go through both a couple that retire at their full retirement age, which is right around 67 years old. It's actually 66 and 6 months for this example. And then also a couple that retires, same data, only the couple retires at 62. So in one case, 67. Let's start off with that one. Okay, so again, this is a free online tool. In the personal information instead of a name, you can see I have the case here, which is $350,000. And then they're going to receive Social Security of $2,250 a month, which is a combination of $1,500 for whoever was earning the higher salary. And then the other spouse, I'm assuming, is taking 50% of their spouse's Social Security benefit. Again, your numbers are by definition going to be different. Stick to the end. I'll share with you how you can run these numbers for yourself. Social Security, I said again, $2,250. In this example, they're currently 67 years old and they're retiring now. And then we go to the portfolio. The portfolio I have in here is $350,000. I've left everything else as the default. It's a 60% stock portfolio, 40% bonds. This is not financial advice. I don't know your situation. This is just what's in the default. And it's not unusual for somebody in this situation to have that asset allocation. First, we're going to run the expenses, how much they spend every month, as twice double of what they're getting from Social Security. So Social Security will fund half of their monthly expenses, and the rest of it will come from their savings and their investments. So in that case, I've got them spending $4,500. And then here, the next place is the settings. And again, these are just the defaults for the stocks, an 8% return for the bonds, 4.5%. And when we run the analysis, now this uses a tool called Monte Carlo simulation. And the idea is to we all live our own lives. And if we knew at the end, hey, did the stock market do really, really well? Well, we'd make decisions differently. Or if we knew we were only going to live to 72, we would probably spend more money early on. So there's all these unknowns, and the Monte Carlo simulation tries to simulate different lives and say, if you spend this amount of money and inflate it every year for inflation, how long is your money going to last? And unfortunately, spending twice as much as Social Security, our money's going to run out somewhere between 76 and 81, 82. Now, this tool doesn't have a crystal ball. It doesn't know this for sure, but that's what the simulations are. You can see up above, they ran 10,000 simulation. The top end of that light blue shaded area, those are the people that got lucky and got really good stock market returns. The bottom edge of that are people that got unlucky. And then the dark blue line, that's the median. So of the 10,000 cases, 5,000 cases did better, 5,000 cases did worse. So this is the median, and that person runs out of money at 78. So few people are going to be comfortable with a plan like this unless they know, for some reason they have a serious health issue and they don't have long to live. So let's go back to the expenses. The only thing I'm changing is instead of $4,500 a month, let's lower it down to $3,500 a month. Leave everything else the same. And now it looks better. In some cases, the lucky people pass away still having money in their bank account, about $150,000. The unlucky people actually run out of money slightly after they turn 81, And the median person lasts between 85 and 86 before they run out of money. Again, probably a little tighter than what most people would want. So let's change the expenses to $3,000 a month. And let's run the scenario again. Now this looks closer to a scenario that I see that some of my clients would be comfortable with. This is probably a 75% likelihood of success, maybe more, 75 to 90% maximum probably. Likelihood of success, you can see the lucky people actually pass away with more money than what they started. The unlucky people run out of money, 87.5. And I should say everything about these two cases, the lucky case and the unlucky, is the same, except when they get different stock market returns and how well the stock market did for them. In the median case, people pass away with about 200,000 of their original 350,000 left. So that's a case that a lot of people would be comfortable with. So how much can you spend in retirement? First, don't use a free online tool to decide that. But according to this, it looks like in the range of $3,000 a month total, when Social Security is bringing in $2,250 a month. So an extra $750 a month, it looks like, in that range. But what if you want to retire earlier? What if you want to retire at 62? So this is that same couple, but now they were born 5 years later, 1962 instead of 1957. And because they're taking Social Security at 62, which is not their full retirement age, it's the earliest they can take Social Security. So they get 70% of their full retirement benefit. I'm assuming the full retirement benefit is still that $2,250. And so 70% of that is $1,575. They're going to retire at 62. Now they have more years that they have to fund, so they're not going to be able to spend as much. So let's look at the expenses and say $2,500 a month. So they need about $1,000 a month coming from sources from their investments outside of Social Security. And when we run this analysis, you can see the lucky people almost double their money, right? They have almost $700,000. The median person, half the people pass away with more than $100,000, half the people pass away with less. And the unlucky people pass away, their money runs out before they pass away, right around 83 years old. So let's take those expenses down. Instead of $3,000 a month, let's bring them down to $2,250. So in this case, above Social Security, we've got Social Security at $1,575, and we've got expenses at $2,250. So what is that? About $700 a month coming from outside of Social Security. And this looks pretty good. This is probably what a 95% likelihood of success looks like. In almost every case, people are passing away with some money left. You go almost till 90 till the unlucky people pass away, have their money run out before they pass away. The median person passes away with more money than what they started with, just a little under $400,000. And then the fortunate people pass away with over $1 million. Now, again, don't make a decision on using a free online tool, but I do want you to know what it is. It's honestmath.com, so you can play with it. Now, if you look at these numbers and say, hey, Azul, that's looking pretty thin. I've worked hard, I've done the best I can, I've saved as much as I can, and that doesn't look great. Well, I want to share with you, there's an article by a gentleman by the name of Andrew Biggs, and he's a fellow at a think tank, and he wrote a op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal where he says you do not need to be a millionaire to retire. Among seniors with 50 to just under $100,000, $99,999 in savings, 86 were doing okay or living comfortably. And that article goes on to say, of the seniors with more than $10,000 in savings, less than 1% of them said they were finding it hard to get by, while 93% said that they were doing okay or living comfortably. And in the subgroup of people from 50 to 100,000, now remember we ran this example with 350,000, so they're better off than that. But in the subgroup 50 to 100,000, a small fractions of what retirees are told they need, just 11%, said that they were just getting by, and 86% reported that they were doing okay or living comfortably. So you want to balance, how much money you need to retire, how much money that you're saving, with your goals in life. You've worked your whole life, and retirement is the youth of your senior years, and each year we continue to work, we're giving up one of those years in the youth of our senior years that we'll never get back, right? We may, have an extra year from 90 to 91, but it's not going to be the same as a year from 60 to 62 or 62 to 63 when we have our full mental acuity, we have energy, hopefully we still have our health. So we want to be careful. And as a teaser for a video that I think a lot of you will find helpful, kind of part 2 of this video, this is our healthy life expectancy. How long can we expect to have our health where we can do things? And it's a lot shorter than what people think. So this is listed by countries. And unfortunately, most of us don't have as much time as we think, which is why I made this video here. Retiring at 65 is a huge mistake. Retirement Expert explains why. I'll see you in that video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.